kinda looks terrible.
So the latest CoroCoro magazine issue came out revealing potential plans for the upcoming Beyblades, and one of the latest talking points in the community is the new Twisted Tempo homage Beyblade that is coming out in October. I did not know anything about Twisted Tempo firsthand, I knew it from some people in our friend group. And it's bad! The page where they reveal the Twisted Tempo blade reveals that it will be called Clock Mirage, where the unique thing about this blade is that it is a stamina type, perfectly rounded, more rounded than Wizard Rod, that will spin for an atrocious amount of time. The side of the metal also features 60 tiny contacts all along the metal to pretty much chip away the stamina from the opponent's Beyblade. Now on paper, this actually seems like the Wizard Rod nightmare turned into Freddy Krueger's boiler room, having the weight surrounding the outer layer of the blade to have completely even weight distribution to keep the blade spinning and attack the opponent slowly to chip away their stamina. The prize blade, at least, since this will come in its own dedicated select random booster, is going to have a new ratchet which is 965 and a reprint of Yellow Ball. The 965 is interesting since it's the first time we got a 9-sided ratchet at 6.5 millimeters in height. While slightly taller than the 960, it's still not terrible. So it seems they took Wizard Rod's most famous stamina combo, 960 Ball, and made a variation of it to fit Clock Mirage. But here's the thing that actually makes Clock Mirage go from potential hit like Back to the Future to an absolute laughingstock like Hot Tub Time Machine. The side view of the blade that they show on the page reveals the underside of the main blade having a huge gap between the blade and the ratchet. This is probably the biggest gap I have ever seen from any Beyblade X bait ever. To make it worse, according to Takaratomi's product description, the Clock Mirage blade can only be attached with the simple ratchet. The simple ratchet system are the ratchets with a ring lock mechanism instead of the usual bow tie ones. There are on the ratchets that are like 455, 385, and now we have 965. Clock Mirage is now further limited to the ratchets it can use, which means the lowest it can go will be 455, which doesn't help with the bursting situation because of the gap. So the big weakness that Clock Mirage has is that it will be very easily burstable or knock off balance to destabilize and shave away its stamina. Even Takaratomi has acknowledged that the blade will be an easy burst target, so it will be generally recommended to maybe angle launch the blade a bit to shield the ratchet from ratchet snipers like Shark Scale or Buster Dran. And that's not even discounting how butt-fugly the blade looks, and the color combination is just terrible. There will also be two other colors where one of them will be black and white like the one from the original Twisted Tempo looked, and this select random booster is going to be released October 11th. And according to the CoroCoro magazine, the booster will feature the blade coming with all the same parts just in different colors. So all three will come with 965 and Ball. Now this is somewhat controversial as a lot of people think that they should include different parts to the different colors like they have done in the past. However, in my opinion, I do not oppose this idea. The select random booster being get one of the dedicated blade in a random color with all the same parts as the prize blade, in my opinion, is good for the players and customers alike as it makes it a level playing field. It would definitely take a hit to Takaratomi's profit unless the whales try to buy more to get their set of colors, but a lot of players, if they know all three are the same parts, just different colors anyway, they will just buy one and be done with it. To me, this prevents overspending and would garner goodwill with the player base. This would make a precedent going forward about how they would do select random boosters in the future. And to me, the fact that you get the prize blade no matter what color, and rather than getting the prize blade that comes with crazy parts or getting the non-prize that comes with crappy parts, it makes sense to me and really hopes that this is the direction Takaratomi goes moving forward. But to me personally, this select random booster as a whole just seems like a skip to me. It's not really something that appeals to me functionality wise, it's ugly as hell and the parts that come with it don't really speak to me. I might get it just to do a review on it just because all three are the exact same blade so it won't matter which one I pull, but I think some people might just get it for collection, for nostalgia, or just skip it entirely. But maybe this really is a blessing in disguise that this thing is not OP, as Metal Fight experts have previously said that Twisting Tempo originally was an impressive meta beast back in the day.
The reason why this Beyblade was considered overpowered was due to its fusion wheel, Twisted. The sheer weight and nearly perfect circular shape of the wheel overshadowed any intended drawback, which kept it as dominant as ever.
There is also a red left spin launcher that will be sold on its own as was listed on Takaratomi's site, so that is a pretty dope recolor of the string launcher that since we got the blue one and the black one already from Cobalt Dragoons, maybe this is a sign that they are releasing another left spin Beyblade in the future, we do not know.
Some even more news regarding the Takuratami release of Hover Wyvern. They have just announced last night that this Hover Wyvern recolor will be released as part of a DMM lottery pack along with several other merchandise, like keychains and posters and stuff. There is even a purple string launcher which looks gorgeous, and unfortunately for Takuratami players, that the only way to get one if the rogue meta base that was released in recent time is to once again gamble for it. There is even a purple medical version which looks absolutely amazing, but unfortunately it's a last chance release after the regular version is gone, and to make matters worse, it's a one of a kind, so only one person will be able to win this one. It's absolute bullshit. I really like this recolor of Hover Wyvern. I only wish that it's easier to get, but say what you will about Hasbro, at least for us here in the West, Hover Wyvern is so easy to get. Even though it's in an expensive stadium set, we can at least walk across the street to the store and buy it outright. So, really unfortunate for Takuratami players. I feel really bad for them. And just a couple of days ago, Cloud9 Esports has announced a partnership with Beyblade's licensing team, 80K Emotions, to do a collaboration with Beyblade X. Cloud9 being one of the top esports organizations in the world, having numerous championship-winning teams in League of Legends, CSGO, Valorant, Rocket League, and others, have now partnered to do projects with Beyblade X. The extent of the partnership is not mentioned, with many people assuming that this is just to make t-shirts and jerseys and other merchandise to build on the Beyblade brand. The press release from Cloud9 reads, "Rather than a traditional licensing deal, the partnership is built on a collaborative model bridging both esports and anime communities through the spirit of competition, high-energy play, and storytelling, while offering co-branded apparel, content, and more for North American fans and supporters." So there is that possibility that Cloud9 are going to be making merch and probably produce content for Beyblade X, though keep in mind that they are an esports organization, and this may be the first step to taking competitive play in North America to the next level. This all comes after the two hugely successful competitive events that Hasbro and Takuratami held at Anime Expo and Atlanta, Georgia, so to get an esports team like Cloud9 involved with the franchise is a pretty big deal. Beyblade X is already being looked at like a sport, and to classify it as an esport would make a lot of sense. With the addition of introducing Cloud9 to Beyblade, there is a chance at inviting other teams to the franchise, and maybe it would be making having Beyblade an official esport a reality. Again, no actual confirmation about what this collab would entail or what they intend to really do, but I remain optimistic that the future of competitive Beyblade will be a bright one. At the very least, if we can get some jerseys, gloves, and other gear made for Beybladers to wear at tournaments that would improve their play, I would not be opposed to it. But let me know what you all think about the Clock Mirage, Cloud9, and the Hover Wyvern situation in the comments down below. I'm going to try to get the Scarlet Garuda video done by the weekend. Everyone have a beautiful day and enjoy the Bay Awards later tonight, everyone.